Now, for Fuse, you should not have to play aggressive if you use his cluster charges correctly. Let me explain. When using the cluster charges, your job is to move defenders out of power positions on whatever site is being played. Getting kills is completely secondary. For example, on border you have a 5-man and site is in ventilation and server. 3 people will push site directly, while Fuse and preferably Sledge or Buck push up top to clear out roamers and play vertical. But downstairs, a defender is holding an angle to customs, making it hard to push site. Fuse can place his cluster charge above that player and force them to move, giving your team an easy kill opportunity to take ground towards site, which could lead to a kill or plant. The important thing in what I just said is Fuse. Fuse's job is to aid the fraggers. The fraggers being operators like Zofia, Ash. That's his job. His job is not to get kills, it's to move people out of positions. That's it. With that said, let me preface. You can get kills with Fuse. Every operator it can get kills. But you should not play Fuse like it's Zofia or Ash. I don't expect you to, but I'm saying it for those in the back who maybe didn't hear me the first time. Okay? Fuse is mainly a support op. If you use his gadget correctly, you could get easy kills, or your teammates can get easy kills. Or you give yourself and or teammates an opportunity to get easy kills. That's the whole point. You are not supposed to just run into sight, balls deep, gun ho. No. You have to be support. You have to go with the buck, with the sledge. You have to do the boring job, I know. But that's your job as Fuse. Now that you have a general idea that with Fuse you can't go gun ho and balls deep, your job as Fuse is to use your cluster charges and stay as live as long as possible to get the most out of his charges. Now that you know that and understand that, hopefully, here are some good Fuse example spots. These are like a guideline for you to follow on how you should place your Fuse charges. These are meant to give you an idea how you should be thinking on when you place them and how you use them. Alright, so here are some useful Fuse spots. Alright, so spot number 1 is right here, okay? This Fuse spot is an excellent Fuse spot. This spot is like right here, anywhere in this little like corner right here, anywhere right here would be a good Fuse spot. And here's where that spot is, and here's why. That is why that Fuse spot is so good. I'm sure you've all seen and are guilty of sitting right here. You would all sit here with like a rotate. There's like a rotate right here. You would sit here and like hold this little rotate. You would like sit here and hold like an angle, or you would sit right here, or just like be in this general little area that blew up, right? And then a rotate is right here. So if someone is trying to like rotate, you will catch them slipping. That spot is excellent because this is a power position. If you fuse this spot, moreover than not, whether or not you know there's someone over there and you just fuse it just because, moreover than not, you are gonna catch somebody right here. Either you kill them or you make them move out of this spot, giving your team an opportunity to kill them or take more ground that can lead to a kill or get a plant. And for our next spot is simple. This hatch. No, really, fuse this hatch. Now with the new buff that Fuse got, he can now put his cluster charges through reinforcements, any reinforcements, as long as it's not mute jammed or electrified, of course. Look where this hatch is. You see this spot? Watch this. Ooh, all right there, all in this little area. And again, I'm sure you've all seen and have been guilty of sitting right here, holding an angle right here, or sitting right here, or holding an angle right here, holding an angle here, holding an angle here to watch this window. I'm sure you've seen it and done it. You've been right here, and somebody has, and you're being contested from right here. Let's say you want to peek this, but there's somebody right there, and you can't really get to him. That fuse charge does its thing. Now that person can either run this way or this way. They can't run that way because you have a teammate watching right there, sorta, kinda. And if they went this way, well, guess what? You're already sitting there waiting for him, and then boom, easy kill. All right. Now, I'm sure we've noticed it, but the thing these two spots have in common is simple. Your job as Fuze is to do this: move defenders out of power positions. That's your job. Not to get kills. Your job is to move defenders out of power positions. Now, you can get kills. That's a plus. But mainly, your job is to move them out of power positions, and granting your team an opportunity to get a kill, or to take ground closer to site that will lead to either a plant or a kill. That's your job. All right, and these spots are made for that. It doesn't matter what map you want. If you can fuse it, and now due to Fuze's buff, now that Fuze can like put his cloud charges on reinforcements, you can now reinforce walls, allowing you to go to sites that might not even have a floor above you to fuse. So overall, it's real simple. On every single site, think of a spot that everybody goes to, that you go to hold down that site, and you think to yourself, if I lose this spot, we are probably gonna lose this site and lose a round. Those are the spots that you want to fuse, because those spots will give you either a kill, an opportunity, or give your team an opportunity to get a kill, and or an opportunity to plant. One of them is gonna happen. All right, and then if you couple that with call-outs communication, oh my God, you will be the best Fuze ever. I promise you that. But I may have shown you these Fuze spots and gave you the idea behind the Fuze spots. This is all useless unless you remember three very important things when playing Fuze: patience, communication, and game sense. Game sense is you knowing or having an idea what the enemy will do before they do it. So, for example, you know site is in server and ventilation. Your team is putting pressure on a ventilation window. From game sense, you know a defender is probably near the soft wall that ventilation and server share. So you fuse it. You either get a kill, or you make a defender leave, or you give your teammates an opportunity to get a kill, or an opportunity to push and take ventilation. That's game sense. Having an idea or knowing what the enemy will do before they do it. Communication is when your team gives a call out and you act upon it, knowing where these call outs are. So that's a little bit of communication and game sense. They have some common ground. So, for example, Doc is near server wall that shares with ventilation. That's a call out. Or they might say rotate hole. Rotate hole if a server and ventilation. That's a call out. You need game sense to act upon a call out, but in order to act upon a call out, you have to communicate. Talk to your teammates. Say something. If you know someone is somewhere, talk to them. And you, as a Fuze, because you're Fuze, you have to use communication, okay? It's very important. You could have zero, and I mean zero game sense, and sort of kind of maybe get away with just communication alone if you're that good at it. If your teammates is that good at it, you could almost get away with it. It's very important. You have to communicate. Now, this last one is very important. Patience. Patience is knowing when to act and when not to. With the example I gave you with game sense, right? Someone is near a soft wall that's shed with ventilation. But from game sense, or from a call out, or from a KA communication, you know there's nobody there. So, using your patience, You wait until somebody is there, and then you fuse it, causing somebody to move and leave. This could be applied into a million different ways. If you just go willy-nilly and fusing anything and being impatient, you will not succeed as Fuse. I mean, you might do a little bit of something, but it won't be as effective as it could be if you are patient. If you are patient, wait for callouts and listen to your team and use your game sense and combine all those with patient, you will be an excellent Fuse player. Now, let me say this one last thing, okay? Know your team. If you know your team works best with two people pushing site and three is pushing top, do that. Know your team. Everything I gave you is an outline. Fit the outline to you. Don't fit the outline, okay? Change things as you see fit, okay? As you see fit and or need, okay? But with that said, this is the end of my guide to Fuse. If you think I missed something, let me know. If I got everything, let me know. If you want to add something, let me know. But with that, I hope you like this video. And if you like this, you will love the guide to Maverick. Make sure you check that out. But with that, have a nice day.